The nanny took advantage of her employer's absence. She secretly ate Bird's Nest worth 50,000 yuan per bottle. Not only that, she treated her employer's home as her own. Every day she did nothing but sit on the sofa eating sunflower seeds. The meals prepared for the employer were all leftovers from what she ate herself. At first, the woman didn't want to argue with the older nanny, but when she opened the fridge wanting some Bird's Nest, she found it completely empty. She immediately asked the nanny what happened, but the nanny claimed the woman had eaten it all herself. The woman clearly remembered that she had just bought 2 boxes recently. There was no way they could have been finished so quickly. At that moment, she suddenly glanced at the trash can and saw a pile of empty Bird's Nest jars. The woman stood up and confronted the nanny, but the nanny feigned ignorance, claiming she was too tired from work a few days ago and had eaten the Bird's Nest because she was hungry. She even remarked that it tasted surprisingly good. She then had the audacity to remind the woman to buy more next time. The woman was so furious her hands trembled. Each jar of Bird's Nest cost 2,000 yuan. She herself hadn't dared to eat much of it, but the nanny, with no shame, argued that taking care of the woman was already exhausting, and besides, the woman had told her to help herself to anything in the fridge. Now she was being criticized for it. She then put on a pitiful act, offering to have the cost deducted from her salary. Seeing the nanny's shameless attitude, the woman, unable to bear it anymore, ordered her to clean her mother's room, but to her surprise, the nanny bore a grudge for this, and while working, she spat at the woman's mother's photo. She even dumped the dust she had swept directly into the urn of ashes. At that moment, the nanny received a phone call from her rural relative, inviting her to a wedding feast. The nanny immediately agreed to attend. She then noticed a pearl necklace on the table, and took it without hesitation. What she didn't expect was that when she returned from the wedding, the woman had already discovered the necklace was missing. When questioned by the woman, the nanny shamelessly claimed she had just borrowed it, and even proudly bragged about how luxurious the necklace was. The woman was now burning with rage. The necklace was the only keepsake left by her mother. She had previously warned the nanny not to touch anything in the house. She demanded the nanny return the necklace immediately, but when the nanny removed it, she deliberately broke the string, scattering the pearls all over the floor. The woman, unable to tolerate her anymore, immediately announced she was firing the nanny. The nanny, however, began pretending to be pitiful again, but the woman's mind was made up. She was determined to make her leave. After being fired, the nanny became resentful. She schemed a malicious plan. She immediately called her son and asked him to come over that night. The next day, when the woman returned home after work, she saw muddy footprints on the floor. She was startled. Then she looked